Welcome to Midweek. That's right, 30 minutes in the middle of your week with the purpose. What's the purpose? To dive a little bit deeper into the message, the content that we've heard on Sunday, to ask questions, to wrestle a little bit with the hard truth, and to come together in community to dive a little bit deeper and to apply the things that we're learning. So I hope that you'll engage. I hope that you'll connect. I hope you'll invite someone, right? Share this content right now to invite others into the journey together. And now, let's dive in deep to this episode of Midweek. Hey, it's Midweek again. Another Wednesday. They keep coming quickly, I might add. But thanks for hopping on. So good to see many of you. Do me a favor. Would you share your name right now? Let us know you're watching. It's kind of fun for the family to know that we're all here. And invite somebody or share this content. We just want to dive a little bit deeper into this series that I think is helping a lot of us. It's helping me. And super, super grateful that my friend and my pastor, Pastor Margaret, part of our team here, you know and love her, but she is here. And she's going to ask me some questions a little bit about the message Sunday, grill me a little bit, put me on the hot seat. Yes. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay. So we'll get to know each other a little bit, or have you get to know us. And so we're going to play a game. And we actually need your help. Okay. So you're watching. Some of you are commenting. So here's what we want you to do. Of course, let us know that you're watching. But we're going to ask some questions. And we're going to play a game called PA or PM. So PA, that's, me, Pastor Adrian. She actually calls me PA pretty regularly. And but we'll call her PM, not like nighttime, but Pastor Margaret. So I'm going to ask you a series of prompts, and before you answer, we're going to ask you, do you think the answer is true for PA or PM? And then I'm going to have her guess the same. So for instance, if I were to say, who is the most likely to be found in their garden? Would the answer be PM or PA? And she's laughing because she knows the answer would clearly be PM. So I'm going to ask, and we're going to pause for like 30 seconds. So please, we want to know. You can keep your own score, and maybe there'll be some surprise thing for the winner. I don't know. Maybe we'll come up with a prize. But all right, you ready? Let's have fun. Okay. Who has lived in the valley the longest? We're starting with the softball one here. Okay, we're making it easy. So again, you don't understand the game. I'm asking a question, and you're going to answer either PA for me or PM for her. Who has lived in the valley longest? I'm pausing for a minute to let you answer. Super, super easy one. But, all right, got your answers in? And your answer would be? PM. That's right. Yes. That's right. How long have you lived in this valley? And you can wait, that's like asking a woman her age.
How old I am.
Round down, or your whole life. Your whole life.
Yeah, 53 years.
Wow. Yeah, not quite that long for me. But 12. But sweet. Yes. Okay. Yes. So if you got that wrong, you don't really know us, but that's okay. Thanks for playing. All right, so now let's jump into a few more. PM or PA, who was the last one to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Would you say it's PM or PA? And I could guess too, but we're just going to let you do because I'm going to be on the hot seat later. So we're giving you a second. Make your guess. Look into our eyes and decide. Last peanut butter jelly sandwich made or eaten, I said. Not just made, but eaten. PM or PA. Got your answers down? Okay. And your answer?
PA.
That's true.
I had peanut butter for lunch though today.
Did you? Yeah, I make a lot of PB&Js because there's kids, but I do enjoy probably one a week, So what?
Yeah, they're good.
How long ago though do you think peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Man, it would have been peanut butter and honey.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been a long time since peanut butter and jelly.
It wouldn't be. Peanut butter and jelly, a little further.
All right. PM or PA, which of us has finished a book most recently? Not started a book, not read parts of a book. Which of us has finished a book most recently? We're going to give you not that long because we don't want this to take forever. So put your guess down, PM or PA. And now you guess. What would you say is the answer to that?
I would say hands down PA.
Really? Okay. I finished a book 3-4 days ago, probably over the weekend. And you?
Well, probably the last time I finished a book.
Right.
2 months ago.
Are you like a book starter?
Mhm.
I get that. I've got some of those. I've gotten into finishing more books this year than I've started. But okay, so PA was the right answer. Congratulations if you got that. Next, who was the last one of us, PA, PM, to ride a four-wheeler? To ride on a four-wheeler. And I'm not talking about the one you put a coin in outside of the grocery store, okay? So PM or PA, we'll give you 10 seconds. Who was the last one to ride a four-wheeler? And your answer would be?
My answer, wow. You know, it's been a while since I've ridden.
You're a country girl, so I'm trying to guess.
But I have a mule. We have a mule.
Yeah, right.
So it's
So I guess that's kind
Does
of
that work?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
my answer is like 15 years or something. I've ridden
I win.
one. Yeah. So PM is the answer. I rode a four-wheeler one time, and it was before my buddy's wedding up in New Hampshire, and he just took me around his like backyard, and it was awesome. But I probably shouldn't be driving one of those.
Right, yeah.
You know,
I get that.
I drive a golf cart dangerously. So anyway, all right. PM was the answer. Good job. A few more. Who was the last one to go to Smiley's Ice Cream? That's right. If you're keeping track, another ice cream mention. I won't tell you what her favorite ice cream place is yet, but which one of us went to Smiley's most recently? I'm taking my time here to give you a chance to answer, but your answer would be?
My answer would be PM.
PM.
Mm-hmm.
And when was the last time you went to Smiley's?
The last time I went to Smiley's was over the weekend.
Okay. It's been
Saturday
like
night.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yes,
I have
yes.
been because Promise the Kids Ice Cream is one of the places that opened, but not that recently. So
Yes, but you know, it's only 7 minutes from the house.
there you
so
go.
ice
And it is
cream
one of
is
your
close
favorites,
by,
right?
yes.
Okay.
It is my favorite ice cream place right now.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it too. But
Yeah.
PM was the answer. Okay, a few more. Who, PA or PM, has sang the most solos at church in their lifetime? So the most solos sung in a church service, any church, anywhere, at any time. Who do you think, PA or PM? And your answer would be?
My answer would be PA.
PA, really? So like you're not a big solo singer from back in the day?
No. I sang in the choir because, you know, everyone's voice kind of drowned by now.
Yeah,
Right,
that's okay.
yeah.
No, I love
But
it. I've done a few
you-
solos. Sure.
You toured, right? Did you do some type of a...
Summer ministry stuff in
Yeah.
college, but I would not call myself a soloist. But
Hey,
okay.
but I will one claim to fame.
Yeah.
The new Passion CD that's
Yeah.
out, I won that.
Oh, yeah, you were there.
I was there.
So if you listen really
You
carefully
can't
in the background,
You can't see me or hear me.
Yeah.
But I won it.
if you
Yeah, I
put
was there.
Christian Stanfield's voice down really low, you'll hear Margaret in the background with all the 20-somethings singing. Okay. Who ate Chick-fil-A most recently? PA, PM. We're going to start going through these really quick. So if you want to answer, fire your answer quick. And your answer is?
PA.
PA is correct. We go often. Last week, we needed to leave the house, so we put our back seats in the van down, put a blanket down, sat in the Chick-fil-A parking lot,
Nice.
and ate dinner.
That's great.
Because we're that
That's
desperate
good.
to get out of our house with 4 kids. Let's do this one. Who was the last one to buy a pair of shoes? PA or PM? I know you could be judging right now because Pastor Murs has some cool shoes.
Yeah.
I do not. These have holes in them. I need to buy a new pair of shoes actually, but maybe I did. So you don't know. So guess. PA, PM, 5, 4, 3, 2. Your answer.
I'll say PM.
Okay.
But
Guess.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, the stores are closed.
Right. So but
So,
how
you
long
know,
ago? I
I'm
mean,
going to
weeks?
say that it's probably been 3 months.
Okay, maybe 6 for me. I did get a
Okay.
pair of running shoes. This one's good. We'll do 2 more. Which of us, PAPM, was cried at a movie most recently? Cried at a movie. Now I don't know if she's a big movie crier. She may not even watch movies. But so which of us cried at a movie most recently? Enter your guesses now. And what would you say your answer is?
I would say PA.
PA, I definitely cried this weekend watching a
Did
movie
you?
with my wife.
Yeah,
It was
I
really
didn't.
good. No.
It's
Are you a movie crier?
Not much.
Okay.
Not very often.
All right.
Occasionally.
I can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Okay. Okay, last one. Which one of us was the last to change a flat tire? Which of us
Wow.
successfully was the last one to change? I say successfully, very intentionally there. PA or PM? You got your answer there, and your answer would be?
Well, this is really iffy.
Okay.
Because the last one that I tried to change was Sarah Kinser's.
Okay.
And it was probably about 4 years ago. It was right before she was working here, I believe. And I could not get the tire off.
Okay.
And Pastor Roger had to come and help me. So
I'm not sure I've ever done it successfully.
Well, I have done it successfully.
So you win. We were on the way Thanksgiving to my family in Richmond and broke down the side of the road, and some guy had to stop and help us. It was not pretty. So shocking. I'm actually not shocked. I knew when I came up with that she would be the right answer. So thanks for playing along, helping to get us to know you better, and you're having fun getting to know us better. So now we're going to spend a few minutes diving into Sunday.
Yes.
And I will relinquish the job of asking questions now.
Okay.
Thanks, though, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to jump in on answering some questions. I wasn't sure where you were going. But it was good.
We made it, though. Sure.
So we just started a series called Preve at Easter.
Yeah.
And can you just, coming into our second week, can you give us just a little synopsis about where we've been?
Sure.
And then talk a little bit about this past Sunday's message on rejection.
So Free from Yesterday is the series. We started it on Easter because we wanted to take a little bit of a different approach on the gospel and really the way that we believe that it is still changing lives today. And so Easter Sunday was about shame. Something, if you joined us last week on Midweek, we talked a little bit about that. But it's powerful. It's one of those things that can be overwhelming. And this week, very much in the same kind of vein, we talked about rejection. Yeah. Something that I think what was the truth that we've all experienced it and it hurts.
Yeah.
And we, throughout this series, have been talking about that our past only has the power that we let it have, that we give it, which is a hard truth, but true if we claim to be people of the gospel. And really, the reason that we don't have to fear rejection is because we know God's promised that in Christ, He will not reject us. Right. And really, the powerful thing for me on Sunday, as I shared, was that Jesus, he really was rejected by God. Mm-hmm. He took our rejection to the cross. Yeah. And because of that, if we are in Christ, we can be confident that even though we experience rejection from others, God will not reject us.
Right. Yeah, that was such a powerful truth. There were a couple of things that just really resonated in my heart from Sunday's message. And you mentioned it before, but we'll go back to it. You made the statement, rejection hurts.
Yeah.
Rejection hurts. Why do you think that the moments of rejection hold more weight in our memory than the moments that were good?
Yeah. Man, I made reference to, there's just really interesting when I was studying shame. There's also some studies out there that talk about rejection and that they actually study the human brain and have shown that rejection leaves a mark on us. It makes an impact on us in the same way that physical pain does. And so the easy answer would be is that it just marks us in a way that is unique. I will say, I used an example on Sunday that, I can't remember my third grade teacher's name. I really can't. I had to look. But I can remember words that were spoken to me. I can remember painful things that were shared. Yeah. And but the truth is there are good things I remember. Right. I remember early in ministry, another pastor sitting me down and powerfully speaking over me that I believe in you. And that formed me. So it's not that the rejection is so powerful that we don't remember any of it, but it's just it touches us and hurts us to a point so deeply that it marks us in a way that we have to acknowledge and we can't ignore. Right. And so I think something physiological in our brain happens when we experience that level of rejection.
And I think you can have those negative responses from that mark.
Right.
Begin a pattern.
It creates that. And that's kind of the pattern of shame too, where you begin to kind of believe and give voice to, I am a loser. And I am, So very connected in that way.
Yeah. So rejection is an event. Like a rejection isn't really a feeling. It's an event, right?
Right. It's something you can point to.
Yeah, it's something you can point to in your past. But how do we not let it affect our present relationships?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yes, I'm asking for a friend. Because I think we can unintentionally bring that mentality with us and believe that others are rejecting us now.
Yeah, we can carry that baggage into
Mhm.
every relationship we have. And we've all done that, right? Like
Right.
we can admit anyone who's ever been married, right? Hello.
Yes.
And if you're not married, it doesn't exclude you. Just any deep friendships you have, any relationships where
Yeah.
you have to be vulnerable at all, you can drag that rejection into
Yes,
that and
yes.
believe, falsely maybe, that because of how you were treated in your past, they're going to treat you that same way too. And so I think, man, this whole series does kind of begin with this idea that we have to acknowledge it. And so we can't stuff rejection. We can't pretend, hey, no, I'm fine, I'm good. We have to give voice to it, not so that we can drag it along with us, but so that we can kind of identify, that happened and it did hurt.
Yeah.
And as much as I wish it didn't, or as much as I want to move on and pretend like it doesn't impact me, it happened. It is impacting me, but by the grace of God, because he won't reject me, he can help me turn a corner. And look, I know we'll talk about this a little bit probably, but one of the reasons Celebrate Recovery has become such a powerful ministry here is because it's really easy to say that, like, well, just acknowledge it and allow God. But some of us, we need help in that, and we need handles, and we need to be able to walk in community, and we need to turn to God's word more than once and so I think it's a journey and it's intentional, but I think it has to come by acknowledging it, acknowledging what's true. It's true that happened.
Right.
It's true that they did treat me that way, but then also allowing that to kind of be something that happened then.
Yes.
And just because it happened then doesn't mean that it has to happen now, or doesn't change who I am now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think even we can sometimes even reject ourselves. We put that rejection on ourselves.
Absolutely.
As we look at these relationships and believe we know how other people see us. And that's so unhealthy.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's important for us to realize that we are absolutely
we can walk in freedom.
Yeah,
I mean, because of that.
Absolutely be free of that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind, because God's brought freedom to us, right? In places that we had rejection.
Sure.
Another powerful statement that you made: God's approval overwhelms man's rejection.
Yeah.
This is a great take-home statement. But what does it look like on Tuesday morning or Wednesday night when we wake up in the middle of the night? How can we practically accept God's approval in those times?
Yeah, it sounds really good to make a statement like that on Sunday, and even as I make it, people could say, "Oh, look at Adrian, but that is a statement that I need to hear constantly." I mean, and you said Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I mean, I get, this is how hard it is for me dealing with conflict and dealing with people I can get an email and immediately be tied up in knots. Not even necessarily because somebody's being angry or ugly, but just there's a conflict on our staff. There's somebody from church has a question and misunderstood me, and immediately I kind of can almost curl up in the fetal position in my heart, like, oh. And sometimes, it's because I did something wrong. I need to acknowledge it. I need to learn from it. But sometimes it does kind of resort back to that, the approval of men being an idol for me. Like there is this kind of acknowledgement that there will be some rejection. Certainly there's going to be people that don't always agree with us, and we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but I can easily kind of resort to that. Like, what's the scorecard in my life? Like when I put my head down on the pillow at night, how do I know that I've been faithful to God? And so ultimately it comes down to, if the scorecard is everybody liked me today, and everybody only said good things about me, and I've got, I feel good, warm, fuzzy about like, I'm not opposed to that stuff. But if that's the scorecard, then there's just going to be times in your life that you're going to be miserable, because it's not always going to happen. You're not going to be always able to make everybody around you happy. You're not supposed to be their God. You can't be their God. And so it just comes down to the scorecard of my life is, and I think Reverend Sproul, who comes and has spoken here often, he would say that at the end of the day, I just have to ask myself, Lord, are you pleased with me?
Right.
And that's it for me. Like his approval overwhelms, overcomes any rejection by man. The real rejection, but even the rejection I manufacture in my, like where I convince myself that they're not going to like me, or just the ways that because I, I'm such a people pleaser that I can have all kinds of anxiety. So for me, I constantly, several times a week, have to reset the score. Am I being obedient to God? Yeah. Is he pleased with me? And if he is, I just have to rest in that. Yeah. Right. God, is there something I need to do to seek out forgiveness? Is there something I need to do to make this situation right? And a lot of times for me, the answer is no, not really. Yeah. You just need to learn that my approval is more important. Right. And you're going to experience some rejection, and not everybody's going to be happy with you all the time. Yeah, and ultimately Jesus said, like, you will be rejected. Yeah. When the world hates you, they hated me first. So like sometimes I need to read the book and realize like, oh, I joined that club. Yeah. That's the kingdom I belong to. Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if that even answers your question.
It does. And I've received help. I mean, this was a message that I really needed to hear. Because you're right, we continuously have to seek the Lord. We continuously have to go to him and ask him those questions. We have to be intentional with that relationship. And it can be, I'm in the same boat as you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I can find myself in that place of wanting to make sure that
and the danger is how many things we would run to seek approval. Right. Not even just people, but our image and the what we have to kind of portray to those around us. And it's an exhausting way to live and not who we were created to be. Yeah. And so,
that's so true.
It's deep.
It is deep. So why do we have to deal with it? Like, why do we have to deal with rejection? Why can't we just live in denial?
Yeah, it's tempting, especially for somebody that doesn't like conflict. Yeah. That's somebody that wants everybody to like them. Sometimes it is easier to pretend everything's okay. It's easy to pretend like that doesn't hurt me, doesn't bother me. But what I've learned is as you stuff that and you think you're holding it inside, you think you're okay, but it's just going to come out. And often in my life, if I don't deal with that rejection, it comes out and it hurts the people that I least want it to. I don't want to hurt anybody in my life. Right. But it often comes and it hurts those that are closest to me in a way that I really regret. And so oftentimes it's like, somebody maybe on Midweek made this example or recently kind of shaking up the can of soda, and you could pretend, but eventually when you open that, something's going to happen. And so it's hard. We don't want to deal with the layers and the mess. And some of you watching, it could be years of kind of pretending or not acknowledging or denying. And it creates deeper and deeper levels of anxiety and pain and brokenness. And that will come out. It probably is. We're just not acknowledging it. It's probably coming out in some anger and resentment and viewing ourselves with shame. And so I would just say it's going to be exposed in some way. And so wouldn't we rather allow the great physician, to come and open us up? And man, that hurts. And man, that's scary, but it's way, more redemptive. Allow him to do his work and bring healing. And so what about you? You've journeyed through your own, you've shared that before, I know, through CR and you're in the outreach ministry here. Right. So you're dealing with broken people a lot. Why do you think it's critical that we deal with that head on rather than just kind of pretending or allowing it to?
It does. Like, it will come out. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's going to come out if we don't deal with it. It is going to come out in such unhealthy ways. But I totally agree with everything you said. but I also think that God has so much more for us.
Right. Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, what I see in Celebrate Recovery is people that have walked in the door so full of shame, so rejected in their life, and they're leaders today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God doesn't waste a hurt.
Yeah.
He doesn't waste anything if we will give it to him and let him make a message out of our mess.
Yeah.
I've heard people say. So that would be my add-on to what you said, is just God has things planned for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine what we're missing. Not even just, sometimes we say blessing and we think monetary, but just imagine the impact we could make, the way God wants to use our story to impact others.
Right.
Who could be on the other side of that?
Right.
If we would allow God to do the hard work of redeeming our past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is it's not an easy journey.
Right.
But it is so worth it on the other side.
Yeah.
And your mom.
Right.
Like your mom, you spoke of her often.
Right.
And she's done the hard work.
Right.
You know, and I don't know if you want to share anything about
Sure.
that journey for her, but because you've mentioned that you've dealt with some rejection through all of that. And
Yeah, for those that aren't familiar, I know I've shared before, and my mom has actually come to Celebrate Recovery and shared just some of the abuse she experienced as a child, that she really did stuff. Partly because she was at an age where she didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then later experienced more abuse, and it just kind of became layers and layers of rejection and hurt and shame. And it did come out. And when I was a teenager, it was kind of this scary season of my mom really clinically depressed, suicidal. I mean, really scary things. And during that season, she really couldn't be the mom who she had been the rest of my life. She couldn't be. And for years, was very not dependable, not present, through some pretty significant parts of my teenage years, just was totally absent. And I had to wrestle with that. I had to wrestle with where God was at in that. I had to wrestle with my own feelings of rejection in that. And maybe in that time, in some ways, my faith had to become my own, because I had to really trust who God was for me. But through that, and it was a long journey. Sometimes we forget that. I wish we could pray on a Sunday and the work of redemption was done. But for her, it was a hard road. But today, she is a new creation. She is. We've been talking through Philippians 3 a lot, forgetting what is behind, straining towards what is ahead. And I just see that in my mom and the way she's now impacting other people's lives in a way that she couldn't. And it's not from a place of, ooh, I've got it together, but man, let me tell you where I was. Let me tell you, even through the rejection that I experienced, but now kind of the beauty that's God's brought. So it's beautiful, painful, but beautiful to see how God can write that story. We've got a minute left. Any closing thoughts you have? Any way that you want to encourage us in this, just as you've been listening and praying and helping prepare to ask some questions? Any final words?
Yeah, I just think if you are struggling with this, this is just, there's many resources. Celebrate Recovery is a great resource. And you might say, well, we're closed down. Right now the church isn't open, but Celebrate Recovery is still happening. We are meeting on Zoom. Everybody's learning about Zoom. So we still have our meetings on Monday nights, and we would love for folks to join. And it's a journey, but it is a journey that is so worth the effort and the life on the other side of that healing. Doesn't mean it's all easy, but what we find is we gather resources and family. I met with our Celebrate Recovery leaders over Zoom last night and had a meeting, and we've become forever family.
And if folks are watching, or they know somebody that they feel like, man, they could really use this, what's a way to get in touch with you? What's a way to get connected to take that first step?
Yes.
Especially in this season where they can't show up on a Monday night.
Right. They just need to reach out. We have a Celebrate Recovery page.
Okay. On our website?
Yes.
Great.
And so they can go there and just reach out, and
Yeah.
we'll be back in touch. We also have a Facebook page, a Celebrate Recovery Facebook page
Awesome.
that they could go through.
Well, we're committed as a church. Our mission is to be transformed by God,
Yes.
to bring hope to others through Christ, and that includes people who have been rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So our heartbeat as a church is that all people, even rejected people, can find hope in Christ. So thanks for tuning in midweek. We love that you joined in. I hope something that was shared is helpful to you, and that you'll share this with somebody in your life that needs hope today. You're loved.